Okay, let's think about this for a second. What if you could take one of your biggest, most unpredictable costs, employee health, and flip it into your number one driver of productivity? I mean, really, that's the huge shift we're going to talk about today. We're moving away from just, paying for sick days and actually building a workforce that's healthier and full of energy.
All right, let me ask you a straight-up question, and be honest. When you think past the yearly health checkup, or maybe that wellness newsletter you send out, do you really have a solid, actionable plan to keep your team healthy? For most leaders, if they're being real, the answer is, well, it's kind of complicated, right? And hey, let's push that a little further. How do you actually connect the dots between someone's well-being and their motivation, their drive to come up with new ideas? See, this isn't just about getting people to show up to work. It's about them being present, fully engaged, and passionate while they're there.
And here's the last piece of the puzzle. What if you could build a whole strategy around, well, compassion? One that's smart enough to get ahead of problems instead of just reacting to them all the time? Look, if any of these questions are hitting home, then you're in the right place, because we've got the exact framework you need.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and really look at the problem here. Inside almost every company, there's this silent productivity drain, and it's not what you think. It's not your old software or some clunky process. Nope, it all comes down to the well-being of your people.
We hear it all the time, and it's absolutely true. Your people are your greatest asset, period. It's their ideas, their energy, their commitment. That's the magic that turns a big vision into a real thing. It's the engine that drives all your success.
But, and this is a big but, here's where we need a major shift in thinking. An employee's health, that can't just be their personal problem. It has to be a shared responsibility. Why? Because think about it. When your most valuable asset isn't running at 100%, the whole organization feels it. Those ripple effects are real.
And if you do nothing, well, the cost of that inaction is like a line of dominoes just waiting to fall. It starts with morale dipping. That, of course, leads to less productivity. Then motivation just tanks. And the final, painful hit, those rising medical bills. It's this nasty downward spiral that just chews away at your bottom line.
So the big question is, how do we break that cycle? The answer isn't about putting out fires. It's about being proactive. It's about building a real health strategy right from the ground up. And it all comes down to this one simple, powerful idea. This is the foundation for a much smarter, more sustainable way of doing business. You see, investing in prevention, in building that solid foundation of health, it isn't just a nice to have, it's a brilliant strategic move. You stop throwing money at fixing problems, and instead you invest in building a tough, high-performing team right from the get-go.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Let me walk you through a 2-day transformation that's designed to give you the exact tools and, just as importantly, the mindset to lead this kind of change.
All right, day one is all about laying the groundwork. First things first, we give you the tools to figure out where your team is right now, to get a real, honest baseline of their fitness. From there, we'll dive into the big ideas of what makes an organization healthy, and we'll really build a solid understanding of physical well-being.
Then, on day 2, we take that foundation and we start building on it. Our focus shifts to culture. We kick things off with that piece that's so often forgotten, mental health, and how to weave it together with physical health. Then we get super practical. You're going to actually start building a strategic plan to create this culture. And maybe the most important part, you'll learn how to keep it going with compassionate leadership.
Now look, this is not just about learning a bunch of new theories. This is about creating real, measurable results for your organization. So what will you actually be able to do when you walk out the door?
Well, it's about giving your leaders the power to stop guessing and start knowing. They'll walk away with the actual skills to evaluate the health of their teams, to plan strategies at work, and to be the ones who build a thriving culture. You're not just sending managers to a training, you're giving your whole organization the toolkit it needs to truly thrive.
And just to be clear, this isn't some HR thing. Doesn't matter if you're a top executive setting the company's vision or team lead right there in the trenches. If you are responsible for other people's performance and their well-being, these skills are absolutely essential.
So let's just reframe this whole conversation. This isn't another expense to add to the budget. This is one of the single most powerful investments you can make. An investment in your people.
And that's the ultimate goal here, right? We want to help you stop looking at employee health as just another line item on a spreadsheet and start seeing it for what it is, the absolute foundation of your most valuable asset. Because a healthy, motivated team,
Well, that's a productive team. It's that simple.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. In today's world, every single company is out there fighting for a competitive edge. The question is, are you ready to find yours in the health and the energy of your own people? Because that, right there, is the opportunity that's sitting right in front of you.